Hi there. Good morning, everybody. It's good morning where I am in Guatemala. Good afternoon or good evening to wherever you might be in the world. So I am here to bring you this month shamanic forecast for November. And sorry, it's a little bit late. I've had a crazy first few days of November. It's been very busy. And I think that the rest of November is going to be the same as well. So I'm going to take a moment just to kind of like settle into my space. What else did I want to say? There was something else. Oh, I know. I wanted to just let you know, I'm going to tell you a bit more about this at the end. But I am starting a shamanic, ancestral and karmic healing course, which is a live training. And it starts today. Today's the 5th of November, but it's running all the way through the whole month. And you can join at any time if you want to. And that is a live training, which is going to teach you how to do healing for your own ancestral line and your own karmic line, your soul line too. So that's healing from past lifetimes to clear patterns of trauma, pain, and all those nasty things that we carry as baggage with us into this lifetime and into this generation. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that at the end. But I just wanted to mention that now so that you know that that is starting today and is running all the way through this month. So with no further ado, I'm going to put my fluffy cat mask on and let's see what my allies have for us today and for this month. Okay, so I'm going to repeat the intention for my shamanic journey 3 times and then we'll see what comes. Okay, so my intention is to take a shamanic journey, to call upon my shamanic allies, to bring through whatever information and healing is needed or would be helpful for the collective for the month of November 2025. My intention is to take a shamanic journey, to call upon my shamanic allies, to bring through whatever information or healing would be helpful for us as a human collective on the planet for the month of November 2025. My intention is to take a shamanic journey, to call upon my shamanic allies to come and to bring through whatever information or healing would be helpful for the human collective on the earth at this time for the month of November 2025. Okay, allies, what have you got for us today, please? Right, I can see an orange, and the orange is kind of like in front of me, but I get the sense that this is the world, this is the planet, this is our planet at this time, and I can see that the orange is being peeled. Okay, so it's like the outer layer is being peeled off, the skin is being peeled off. All right, what is the relevance to this, please? What are you trying to show me here? Right, they're just saying to me that the earth is being peeled. The earth is being peeled. Why? Why is the earth being peeled? Because we don't need this layer anymore. Okay. You know, this speaks to me of the shedding of a skin, the dropping of dead wood. You know, at this time of year, especially in the northern hemisphere anyway, this is the time of year where the wind is pulling the last of the leaves off the trees and any dead wood, any dead branches that are also on the trees. It's the time of year of shedding, isn't it? It's the time of year of release, of clearing, of peeling away what doesn't serve us. Okay, why are you showing this to me in the form of an orange, though? That's like normally when I have this kind of metaphor, they show me an onion and they talk about peeling away the layers of the onion. So I'd like to know what the relevance is for the orange. Why are you showing this to me as an orange? Okay, they're saying to me because what's inside is juicy and sweet. What's inside is juicy and sweet, meaning, you know, there's good stuff underneath. It's good, healthy, full of nutrients, full of nourishment, full of vitality. You know, we're peeling off this layer that's on the outside, which in some respects is a protective layer of the inner juicy goodness. but this layer is unnecessary now. You know, it's time for us to go into the good stuff. It's time for us to really sink our teeth into the juicy aspect of life on Earth. Okay, interesting metaphor. I've never had that one before. That's a new one for me. All right, what else do you have to show me about this, please? All right, they're showing me, you know, when you open a citrus fruit, whether it's an orange or a mandarin, satsuma, tangerine, things like that, sometimes when you peel that, when you first break into it and you get that first peel off, it squirts you in the eye, doesn't it? And it hurts, right? They're showing me that. They're saying to me that sometimes when you peel the orange, you know, you get a squirt of acid in the eye. You get a squirt of the very strong liquid that's in the skin, which is very strong and is quite it's quite acidic. You get that in the eye, don't you? How many times have been squirted in the eye when you're peeling a citrus fruit of some kind? It's not nice, is it? And it's like, oh, it gives you a shock and it hurts. And so they're talking about that as part of the process of us peeling the orange in order to get to the sweet, juicy goodness inside, that sometimes you have to go through that squirt in the eye. And it's a pet hate of mine, actually. I'm a bit funny with sticky, tactile things. I don't like peeling oranges, and that's just a bit of a spectrumy thing for me. I'd rather cut the orange open and suck the juice out than peel it. I really don't like peeling oranges at all. And so they're talking to me about that kind of resistance of getting into it in the first place, of peeling back those outer layers, partly because it feels funny on your fingers. It can feel not very nice, or because you get the squirt in the eye. You know, so there's resistance there. There's kind of like not wanting to break into the orange in the first place. And then there's that, oh, you might get squirted in the eye thing, which is a shock and sometimes a bit painful. So there's these kind of stages that we have to go through in the peeling of the orange in order to get into the good, juicy, tasty stuff in the center. Okay, thank you for all of these metaphors. Why are you telling us this? What's the relevance for November, please? Okay, because they're saying to me that November is when you break into the good juicy stuff. Okay, November is the month of vitality. Actually, you'd think it wouldn't be, because it's at the end of the year. It's when we're all calming down. It's, you know, seasonally, it's actually when things are slowing down and kind of everyone's going into their caves and snuggling up. But actually, we have reached a point in our cosmic journey where we're being offered the opportunity to dig into the center of the orange. Oh, now they're showing me chocolate oranges. Okay, which is another favorite thing in certainly British culture. In England, we have Terry's chocolate oranges, which are very traditional Christmas treats. And they're talking to me about the breaking open of that orange. You know, you have to get the foil off. You can't eat the foil. The foil's no good for you. And there's kind of this anticipation of opening up the chocolate orange, which comes apart in segments, just like a normal orange does. And there's a center core, which lots of people really like. I know I've always really liked eating the core. It's like the middle bit, and it's all made of chocolate. The whole thing's very tasty. So they're talking to me about this being a time where when we break into the orange this month, we're going to be experiencing lots of loveliness. You know, I guess really the message is, don't be afraid of breaking into the orange. Don't resist it. Don't evade it. You know, go with it and embrace it, enjoy it. And yes, you might get sticky, and yes, you might get a squirt in the eye, but you're going to get a really, really good, wholesome, lovely gift from that. Okay, that all sounds good. I'm up for oranges and chocolate oranges. Bring me all the orangey stuff, please. Okay, what else do you have to share with us, show us, or tell us, please, for the month of November? Okay, they're talking about the nutritional value of oranges. They're talking about the the high vitamin C content, and the good healthy water structure of fruit in general, but oranges as well. They're talking about how much good wholesome stuff is in there. So if we take November as a month, and we imagine that November is the orange, there's going to be lots of goodness flowing through to us. Really, the opportunity is there for us to take if we want to, if we're going to peel the orange, if we're going to unwrap it and get inside it. There's a lot of goodness, a lot of nutrition, a lot of stuff that's going to soul food. Okay, is the word that they're giving me. Soul food. It's soul food. November is full of soul food. So if the orange is the food, it's food that's going to feed our soul. Whatever is contained in the orange of November is going to feed our soul. So don't hold back. Don't hold back on peeling it. Don't hold back on eating it. Don't hold back on getting involved and work through the not wanting to do the sticky parts if that's you. I know that's me. And don't worry about the squirt in the eye. It'll be quick and over in a second, and all the goodness that you're going to get from eating that orange, that soul food, is going to be really helpful, really beneficial for you. Okay, that all sounds good. I'm liking this whole orange as soul food, which is it's like the food of November, isn't it? It's the gift that we're being given for November. All right, what else do you have to show us or tell us, please, about this month? Right, I can see now there's a whole basket of oranges. There's not just one orange, there's a whole basket of oranges. And they're saying, get stuck in. This is not just about one opportunity. This is about multiple opportunities coming your way. This is about multiple gifts of soul food coming your way. Really, just be open. That's our challenge for this month. That's our task, is to simply be open to receiving these gifts. You can't take the gift in if you're not prepared to accept it. You can't receive the goodness if you're not going to unpeel it and eat it, right? It's no good having a pile of oranges if they sit in a basket on the counter rotting. That's no good, is it? So don't let them sit on the side waiting. Eat them, take them in, receive them, and receive that gift that is being offered to you, to us, in the month of November. Okay, thank you, allies, for this gift, for this bowl of oranges, this fruit bowl of goodness, of soul food. What else do you have to show us or tell us, please? They're just saying there's enough to go round. There's enough to go round. You don't need to scrimp. You don't need to say, oh, I'll just have one, you have the rest. There's enough to go round. It's like there's an abundance. It's like harvest time, where there's enough for everybody. There's enough soul food for everybody. So don't hold back because you think that you have to, only have a little bit, because other people need a few oranges too. There's enough for everybody. So be willing to receive as much as you need, and as much as you want. I guess the message here is how much are you prepared to receive? How much do you think you deserve to receive? Actually, the reality is the flow of abundance is coming in this month. And it's not about, oh, I only deserve this much, or I only deserve this much, or maybe I don't deserve anything at all. No, you actually are, it's your birthright as a human on this planet at this time to receive as much as you need, as much as you can handle, as much as you can possibly sink your teeth into. So don't hold back. Don't feel like you have to scrimp or just have a tiny bit. No, be fully open to receiving as much as you need, as much as you can handle, as much as you can take into your life at this time. Stack your fridge full of oranges is the message here. Don't just take one or two, store them for the rest of the winter. Get as many into the fridge as you possibly can. Freeze them, dry them, hang them up over the fire. It's an abundance of oranges. Just take in this really good, healthy, vibrant, vital energy that is being offered to us this month. Oranges everywhere is what they're saying. It's an abundance of oranges. Make jam, make marmalade, do everything that you can with all of these oranges that are being delivered. And I guess the message here is sometimes when you get an abundance of something, you have to work quite hard to actually prepare it all and to store it in some way. That's certainly the case if you are harvesting food, for example. If you harvest a whole pile of oranges, at some point they're going to go off, right? They're going to rot. They're not going to last forever. And if you want to make the maximum use of the available abundance, then you have to kind of work quite hard in order to process all of those oranges, to process that energy and to store it for future use. So it may be quite a busy month. That's what they're saying to me. Like, yes, you're going to have lots of gifts flowing in, but you might be quite busy in processing all those gifts, in integrating all of those gifts into your life. So don't be surprised if it's quite a busy month. I certainly feel that way already. We're into like day 5, and this transmission is late because I've had such a busy month already. I feel like I'm juggling a lot of oranges or balls, and so this transmission has had to kind of take priority a few down the list, actually, because there's a few other things which have taken top priority in my life that I've needed to get done. And also it was my birthday yesterday, so I took a day off of doing anything and had a really, really lovely day. But so November may well be very, very busy for you, just in terms of processing all of this influx of really good soul food energy, okay? So try and be efficient in how you juggle that, in how you manage it, in how you work out your time management in order to store all of that energy for future use. It's kind of, it's about storage. It's about processing it so that you can use it in the future. Okay, thank you for that tip for November. What else do you have to tell us? What else do you want to show us or bring through to us for this month, please? Okay, they're saying ignore all the nonsense, okay? And what they're talking about there is all of the busy, chaotic energy out in the world. Ignore all the nonsense. Just block it out. Block it out. Focus on processing your oranges, okay? Don't spend time, attention, energy, or any kind of emotional investment in buying into all of this outside noise and nonsense that is trying to grab your attention, that is designed to try and siphon your energy, okay? Ignore it, block it off, focus on your oranges, focus on receiving them and processing them, okay? And storing them for whatever is the good energy that you are going to need going forward in your life, okay? Block out the noise, block out the nonsense, ignore it, shut it out, close the doors to it. And if that means turning off your television or, not going on social media or, not buying in, not reading the newsletters that you might be subscribed to, or, just focus on the good stuff. Focus on the things that are going to feed you and your own soul journey and your soul purpose at this time on your path, okay? Focus on that, because that's going to be such a better investment of your time and your attention and your energy and your money and whatever else you normally spend out to all of the demanding, siphoning energies in the world that just want to suck you dry, basically, okay? Don't let them have all of that good soul food energy. Don't let them have all of that good, orange soul food vibration. And don't let the oranges go to rot. Don't let them spoil because you're so busy scrolling on social media, right? Have a month off. See if you can do a month of like no minimal tech or no social media or no news. You know, that's a good challenge, isn't it? You might find that your life changes in interesting and dramatic ways if you cut that umbilical cord that seeks to suck your energy and your time and your attention. Okay, thank you for that message. Cut out the nonsense, cut out the noise, block out the noise. What else do you have for us this month, please, for the month of November? All right, I can hear them saying bring in the, but I can't hear what's on the end of that sentence. Make it clearer for me, please. Bring in the what? Bring in the bounty. Bring in the bounty. I mean, we've kind of already covered that, haven't we? Are you trying to give me an extra layer of this message? What does that mean? Bring in the bounty. They're not giving me any other information on that. Just bring in the bounty. It's almost like this is a little mantra or a key phrase for this month. Bring in the bounty. Bring in the bounty. Okay, let's just kind of have a moment to be willing and open to allowing that to happen. Maybe we can say, I allow myself to bring in the bounty. I give myself permission to bring in the bounty. I welcome bringing in the bounty. You know, if we're closed off to the bounty, it's never going to flow in, is it? So we have to open ourselves. We have to be receptive. We have to be willing to receive the bounty when it turns up. When the tap turns on, you know, you've got to have your cup underneath it in order to be able to catch the goodness. Okay, so they're showing me now like an image of a doorway, and it's like a door to a house, and I'm on the inside of the doorway. We are on the inside of the doorway, and it's like somebody's leaving this basket of oranges at the door. We have to open the door and we have to bring it in. That's what bringing in the bounty means. You know, the oranges aren't going to kind of smash in through your windows and flood your house on their own. They're not going to put themselves away in the fridge. They're not going to make themselves into marmalade. You have to bring in the bounty. So you have to be willing to open the door, pick up the basket, bring it inside, and then process all of that loveliness. Eat some of it fresh for sure. You know, make it into juice, make it into marmalade, hang some up over the fire with cloves in and cinnamon sticks and whatnot. You know, but we have to open the door and we have to bring in the basket ourselves. That requires some form of proactive participation on our side. I mean, it's not a huge amount. You know, the bounty is getting delivered to our door, but we do have to open the door and bring it in. So they're just kind of giving me that image, that metaphor to go alongside this phrase of bring in the bounty. It's our responsibility to bring it in from outside. The universe is going to deliver it to the door, like the universal supply company, universal delivery company, but we have to bring it in through the door. Okay, thank you for that clarification and explanation of bringing in the bounty. Is there anything else that you have to show us or tell us? No? That's it for today? That's it for today? No, hang on a minute. There's one little additional part to this. And that's that in order to make space, in order for all this bounty to flow in, you have to have space. You have to have somewhere to put it all, right? Imagine you had 10 crates of oranges delivered from the Cosmic Supply Company. Where are you going to put them all? Do you have space in your house? Do you have space to put all those oranges? Is your fridge big enough? Is your freezer big enough? How are you going? Where are you going to put them? And so the last part of this message is about making space. And if your life is already full of stuff that really doesn't serve you, maybe it's your house is overflowing with tat and stuff, broken things you don't need, stuff you've grown out of. Maybe your cupboards are full of clothes that don't fit you anymore, or were from 10 years ago and you don't really like them anyway, or they've got holes in them and so they need to go in the bin. If your life is full of unhelpful, excessive amounts of stuff, you need to clear all of that out, don't you, in order to make space for the 10 crates of oranges in order to fit into your life, into your home, into your kitchen, into your fridge, into your freezer, whatever. So the other part of this is about making space, is about clearing out, is about doing the work to actually clear the space for all of that bounty to fit into your life. So it requires a clear out, okay? So maybe part of your work for November is not just processing all of this loveliness that's coming in, but actually getting rid of a whole pile of stuff in order to make space for all of those crates of oranges to fit into your home, right? Into your life, into your reality. Because if your life is already full, you can't fit the good stuff in, right? You have to get rid of the old stuff, the dead wood, the unnecessary clutter out of your life in order to fit the good stuff in. It's kind of like if your fridge is full of, last week's lettuce that's gone soggy and a bit moldy, and I don't know, yogurt that's got mold growing on the top of it, and bananas that have gone brown, and if your fridge is full of food that's basically beyond its best, you can't fit all the good, tasty, yummy, fruity oranges in. You can't fit the soul food in, right? You can't fit soul food into the fridge if it's full of food that is now gone off, that is past its best. So you're going to have to clear the fridge out. Yeah, you're going to have to clear the freezer out of all those things that you never were going to eat anyway. Or I don't know, if your freezer is anything like my freezer, the children shove stuff in there that spills over. They like to try and make ice creams and ice pops and things like that. And it inevitably ends up full of child tat and mess, actually. So, maybe you need to give the freezer a clear out. Maybe you need to give your fridge a clear out in order to fit all of these lovely oranges in, so that you've got time to process them and store them and prepare them for future use. And that might mean making a massive pot of jam, like a big vat, and cleaning out all the jars and making marmalade, so that you can store those oranges for years, years to come. So this is the work for this month, okay? Clearing out, making space for abundance to flow in, and the abundance will start flowing in, but it's going to be a hard working month of just like making space, clearing things out, and then processing all of the good stuff that's flowing in. Okay, so it's going to be busy month, but good busy. Try and pace yourself. Try and be organized, because it might be easy to feel overwhelmed in that situation, in that environment, in that process. But understand that it's for our best interest. It's for our highest good, actually. Okay, thank you, allies. Is there anything else that you have to tell us or show us about this month of November? No, that's it. That's it for today. Okay, right. Well, that all sounds very good, doesn't it? Busy, but good. I like the sound of all of that. I have already started feeling that, actually, like that's already going on in my reality. So yeah, I hope that resonates for you, and good luck with your processing of all of these oranges that are going to be delivered to your door. And don't forget to bring in the abundance. Okay. Right. So with that said, I'm going to tell you a little bit about this month's project that I'm launching today, actually. I mean, it kind of started at the beginning of the month, at the end of last month, October, for Halloween, Samhain, Day of the Dead. And that is my ancestral and karmic healing package offering. Now, this is such a powerful body of work. It's deeply, deeply profound. And it's based on the concept that our ancestors went through tragedies, traumas, terrible experiences. And if they did not have the opportunity to come to peace with those experiences of either what happened to them in their lives or through their deaths, then those ancestors don't cross over to the light. They don't transition back to source. And they end up kind of floating around this reality as ghosts, essentially. And they're still carrying their pains and traumas. And that can then pass on to the living ancestors. And so us down here in the living reality, we can end up replaying those traumas in our own lives, replaying the patterns of those traumas in our own lives, or we can experience those traumas in other lifetimes, which is what we would class as the karmic line, where our soul has gone through those experiences in other lifetimes. And very often you can have the same types of patterns on your ancestral lines and on your karmic lines. So, for example, some patterns, well, the pattern of warfare is such a good one because everybody is carrying the pattern of trauma through warfare somewhere on their ancestral line, somewhere on their karmic line. In fact, most trauma patterns root back to the overarching pattern of warfare. Okay, so we can look at the pattern of warfare and clear the traumas of that from our karmic lines, from our ancestral lines, and this has all sorts of beneficial knock-on effects upon the living, right? And so the process of doing ancestral and karmic healing, because the ancestral lines and the karmic lines are so very similar in terms of you're either carrying those trauma patterns from your own soul's experiences on the karmic line, or your ancestors experience them through the ancestral line. We can do the same, we can use the same methodology basically to work on both of those lines simultaneously. So it's very minimax, it's minimum effort for maximum gain, and it's powerful, very powerful work. So I'm offering this body of work in a few different formats, and I have divided it into bronze, silver, and gold to kind of divide it into different sections or different offerings, really, depending on how much extra support you might want on this journey. So the bronze offerings are basically self-study, where you can go away and do this work on your own. I offer the bronze training package as it comes as PDFs, 5 PDFs and some playlists and some MP4s for shamanic journeys. And I offer this body of work in a step-by-step process in 5 parts because it's quite long. It's quite a process to do it all. And the whole body of work, wow, is years long, really. It took me 5 years. It took me 5 years to clear all of the patterns off of my ancestral lines. And I was doing this work pretty consistently. So, there's a step-by-step process to address each pattern. And you need to go through that process for each pattern that comes up. So, for example, you might have the pattern of warfare come up, right? You may have the pattern of sexual abuse come up. You might have the pattern of suicide come up. You might have the pattern of poverty come up, right? These are all examples of the types of patterns that our ancestors and our own soul experienced, which caused us trauma, which we would address and look at through this process of healing work. And then when you have, there's a process to identify those patterns, to witness them, and then to remedy them. And so this is all offered within this 5-part process. Now you can buy the basic bronze offering in that department, and you go away and do it yourself. And that's what I would class as the self-study option. Or you can sign up to the live training, which starts today, the 5th of November, and runs all the way through the whole month of November. We have weekly live training calls, 2-hour Zoom calls on a weekly basis. And that is the opportunity for me to kind of give you one-to-one guidance through going through that 5-step process And there's Q&A at the end of each of those calls. So you can ask questions if you want clarification on any of the work, on any of the content. And then I offer a silver and gold option. The silver option comes with membership, which is my monthly membership, which is called Shamanic Life. And so you can come to those monthly membership calls and get, one-to-one personal advice. Anything is a Q&A option as well. So you can bring anything that you want to the membership as you work through this work. Because the thing is ancestral and karmic healing takes a long time. And you have the way that the patterns come up often is in flurries. You'll get maybe like 2 or 3 patterns coming up at the same time. So it's good to have a bit of guidance, basically, is what I'm saying. It can be quite complex and it can be a bit confusing when you're getting multiple things coming up at the same time. And, these patterns reveal themselves, they show themselves through very often some kind of acute or chronic crisis within your reality. So that could be a physical health crisis. It could be, you come down with some kind of illness that gets really bad really fast. Or it could be an emotional mental health crisis. Or it could be that life starts doing strange things and starts throwing you challenges that all, kind of follow a particular theme. Like, for example, another big pattern that comes up a lot for healers and a lot of my clients and customer base and people that tap into my work are a lot of healers, actually. And so a big pattern that comes up for healers a lot is persecution, the witch wound, the persecution wound. And persecution then shows up in the form of demonization, misrepresentation, social rejection, outcasting, and that ultimately ends up in extermination, genocide. If you think about the witch trials, wow, that was 200-300 years of persecution of a social class, which was women, natural healers, midwives, herbalists, so on and so forth, ultimately ending in their extermination, right? So this is how the pattern of persecution shows up. But it comes in these little sub-patterns. Betrayal is a big part of that too. If you find that suddenly everybody in your social circle is throwing you under the bus, that's the pattern of betrayal coming in, which is part of the pattern of persecution. So, these are just a few examples really to help you to understand how the patterns show themselves. Problems with alcohol, for example. Alcoholism is a big symptom of the pattern of warfare. A lot of men suffer from this, not exclusively men, but a lot of men suffer from this from all of their previous lifetimes or ancestral patterning around where men were traumatized through warfare. The things that they had to go through, the things that they had to witness, and the things that they had to do as well. Alcohol consumption is a way of kind of like shutting down all of that. So it's a big symptom of the pattern of warfare coming up to be seen and resolved. So those are a few examples of how these patterns surface. So, having gone through a lot of this work myself, I'm still working on my own karmic healing, but I've finished the ancestral side of it now. And I know that it's really good to have some support and people to talk to about this. So, that's why I offer the silver option, which is the live training with the membership, so that you can check in with people over a year. You get a year's worth of membership, okay, as part of that package. So that you've got some people to talk to about all the strange and weird stuff that comes up, because weird, bizarre stuff starts happening when you start doing this work. And then for those who really want, full support, then the gold option is 2 years of membership in addition to the live training, and also mentorship as well. There's 12 sessions of mentorship that you can take at any point in time. Lots of people often like to have like a monthly mentorship call doing this work. Just to check in on a monthly basis. And that's like a one-to-one mentoring call with me that we do on Zoom. So yeah, there's options for every desire, every need, every pocket. If you wanted to just start at the very beginning and just dip your toes in and see if you like it, you can buy the first PDF for part 1 for £7, right? And you can go all the way up to the gold membership, mentorship option. at £797. So I'm offering this body of work for every option, every level of commitment, because I think it's so important. There is so much ancestral and karmic patterning coming up at the minute, which is why life feels so chaotic. Because, you know, the ancestors are rattling their bones, they're clanking their chains, they're wailing, they're crying, they're asking for help, actually, is what they're doing. But they do that through making life really difficult for the living, actually. So, you know, I would really encourage you to do this work. My own ancestors said to me that we need to remember to look after the souls of the dead, because it's the right thing to do, because it's the right thing to do. And in Western culture, certainly, you know, the people who used to look after the souls of the dead all got exterminated over a 300-year period. They got wiped out. That knowledge was extinguished, and the practice of these this healing work was eradicated. But that's starting to come back now. And actually, this work has never ended in traditional and indigenous cultures. They still look after the souls of the dead in traditional indigenous cultures. But in Western culture, you know, we haven't been doing that for a good few hundred years at least. And so the untransitioned dead are clogging up the place, actually, and all of their pain and all of their patterns get passed down to us, the living, at the bottom of the, you know, the rung of the ladder. And we then have to feel that and try and figure out how to live through all of that. It's hard. It's really hard. It makes life very difficult, actually, when we're carrying all of this baggage from our ancestral pain and trauma, and our own soul's karmic pain and trauma too. So that is my my little sales pitch to encourage you to this work. You know, it's a long-term commitment, actually. It's not a one, you know, take one pill and it's all magically fixed. No, I'm afraid not. It requires commitment. It requires dedication. And, you know, you'll do it in flurries, like I said, in bits of work, and then you'll have a break and let all of it settle, and then some more will come up, right? So that tends to be how it works. So if you're interested in coming and doing this training with me, then the live training starts today and runs all the way through November. But if you want to do it in your own way, you can do that too. The link for the page to have a look at all of those options will be in the box below. And I look forward to seeing you if this work calls to you. And if your ancestors are shouting very loud, going, do it, do it, do it. Okay, that's all I have for you today. I wish you all a very prosperous, abundant, and busy, but good busy November. And I will see you again in December for December's shamanic forecast. Okay, lots of love to everybody. Bye.